Cleantech Lithium is advancing low-cost, low-impact, battery-grade lithium projects for the electrified future, and doing so in Chile. It's listed on AIM and considering a listing in Australia. I'm delighted to be joined by the Chief Executive, Ignacio Mehech. So, Ignacio, talk to us about your lead project and what stage of development it's at.
Hi, Sarah. First of all, a pleasure being here with you today. Our flagship project, Laguna Verde, is in a very exciting moment in its development stage. First, because we have been awarded what's in practice the first contract to a private company for a fully private exploitation project in Chile. So it means now we have the right to exploit and extract lithium in Chile through what is called a CTL, a Special Lithium Operations Contract, fully owned by the company with no state involvement. And it's quite a landmark for us, being the first company ever in Chile's history to be awarded one. And also because we have released a few weeks ago the pre-feasibility study for the project, as well with very strong economics, both in CapEx and also an OpEx in the lowest quartile of the cost curve. So all in all, a very exciting time for Cleantech and our flagship project.
Congratulations on achieving so many milestones. Let's drill down a little bit further into that pre-feasibility study. You talked about the economics there. So what's, the net present value and life of mine at the current stage of the PFS?
Yeah, so according to our PFS, we have a 25-year mine life, producing 15,000 metric tons per year of lithium carbonate, and with a capex around $750 million. It's 749, which is very competitive compared to our DLE projects, as we are going to be using direct lithium extraction, and also with the beauty of being having an OpEx of below $6, 5.78, almost $5.8 per kilo, which is strongly in the lowest quartile of cost. So a very competitive project, and with an NPV of $950 million.
Okay, so talk to me about direct lithium extraction, your process. What is it, and why are you confident that it's going to work?
Well, the DLE, or direct lithium extraction, is a concept. It is a concept where you recover selectively lithium out of the brine that you pump from the resource, and then you can re-inject or return that brine without lithium into the salar, therefore protecting the water balance in the watershed. And also, as you recover selectively lithium from other substances, it allows you to go into the downstream process and get to lithium carbonate more or cheaper and in a more efficient and effective way. And why do I feel confident about the technology? Just because we've been testing it for years. We, in the past, tested several DLE technologies, and we selected this one with Lanshan, the company we're working with, because of it's very effective in recovering the lithium from our brine. We installed a pilot plant in Chile, in Copiapó, near the salar. We have tested that brine, recovered lithium from it, and we have even gone all the way into producing lithium carbonate with that eluate, or post-DLE brine.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, what are you doing to prove that Laguna Verde brine results in a battery-grade lithium product? So you're doing that, but what about other key partnerships? Who are you speaking to in search for strategic relationships that will progress the project?
Yeah, well, let me get to the first question, and then I'll get to the second one. In the past, we did some processing work in the US. We announced early 2025 that we had produced the first batch of lithium carbonate with more than 97% purity in the US with a partner. And just recently, last week, we announced also that we have continued this partnership. We're now going to produce around 300 kilos of lithium carbonate in the US with a company called Empower. And also in Chile with our technological partner Lanshan, we are doing the whole end-to-end process that is in our PFS. So from the DLE all the way to lithium carbonate following the same flow sheet that is our PFS, therefore proving very strongly that the process works very efficiently. And then on the second question, which is a really good one, we have just announced also that we are going to begin the process to search for a strategic partner to develop the Laguna Verde project. We have engaged a firm called Cadfield and Freeman, and they are supporting us in the exercise. We believe there's going to be, and we've already seen, strong interest in the project. So we are talking about selecting the right partner more than looking for a partner. And we expect this process to run until the year end, when we should be announcing which party will be accompanying us in the development of the project.
Okay. Now, water availability, I'm sure, is a challenge for the Chilean mining industry. Is there sufficient processed water supply available to support lithium production, do you think?
It's a very important question, because we know and we understand that how we produce lithium is as important as the lithium we are producing to empower the energy transition. And so we have taken a lot of care and worked a lot in reducing the water consumption in our project, and I can proudly say that at the moment we have around 90% of water recovery. That means we would be pumping around 5.6 liters per second of water from the basin to produce this 15,000 metric tons of lithium carbonate, and that is more than available in the area, and we'll be doing our best from here, PFS to DFS, to reduce that number even more, so to get as close as possible to water neutrality.
Even more. You've been at the helm for a year now. Why do you think you were appointed, and what's the plan for the next 12 months? Is it even more?
Of course, this is just the beginning. When I joined Cleantech, I said very clearly that I joined the company because I believed we had the opportunity to be the next producer in Chile after 30 years. And we've made concrete steps to get to that objective. First of all, the SEOL, this contract that I mentioned, the first one for a private company in Chile's history. Then releasing the pre-feasibility study numbers, which were committed. And now we are on to the next stage of development. I want to move on with the environmental impact study as soon as possible. That is the last permit that we would need to produce lithium, also to get to FID, and then also start working on the DFS, so we are ready for FID. And in parallel, we have two ongoing processes. One is the strategic partner search process that I mentioned earlier, and the second one is the planned dual listing in Australia, the ASX, which is in the first phase, and we expect to have more news about that during the third quarter of this year. So the next 12 months will be as exciting as the previous 12, my first year, and I expect next year, the same time, if we talk, that I can give you much more detailed news about the project and that we're much closer to production.
Excellent. Ignacio Mehech of Cleantech Lithium, it's been a pleasure, and you've been busy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.